Friends and family, my name's Skylent. Who is Valorant for? That's what I'm trying to ask, that's what I'm trying to answer, and it's for personal reasons as well as a bunch of my friends are looking to get into the game coming from one game or another, and I think this should elucidate that whole situation for you. Obviously, you're interested in it, you clicked on the video, but actually playing in it, actually competing, that kind of means something. It's a game as a service, you're in it for the long haul, and it might take up a little bit of your time, it might even replace some other games. So, is it worth it? Is it worth the investment? Let's go and try to figure that out. Here's my top 10 reasons why you might actually be truly interested in Valorant. Okay, so the first reason why you might want to play Valorant is if you just in general love first-person shooters. Now, I don't know if you've seen some gameplay of Valorant, but it is obviously inspired by one of the most popular FPSs, but it also, if you just look at it for what it is in a vacuum, it's FPS mechanics. It's a very mechanical and interesting style of game. We don't have too many tactical shooters out here, especially first-person tactical shooters that are really popular, just like kind of, namely two specifically, and then incorporating all these different hero abilities and mainly focusing on the gunplay. There's a lot of special stuff going on with this game, and sure, yeah, it could definitely be compared to a number of different titles, which I already just did, but in general, if you love those games and the ideas that it's borrowing from, then you're probably gonna be interested in this game as a whole as well. So yeah, if you love FPSs, this is obviously the next big one coming out, so you should definitely be watching more videos than this on Valorant, get hyped and excited to jump into the beta. Next up is the main competitor and the main inspiration for Valorant, which we kind of alluded to. That's Counter-Strike. If you love Counter-Strike, then duh, you should be looking at Valorant. Already we can see a ton of professional and ex-professional players and just a number of people who just enjoy Counter-Strike already streaming the game, already talking about it. Really, everybody's making content on this game with the sort of perspective of coming from a Counter-Strike background. And with the idea that it is directly competing with Counter-Strike because it is. This is the counter to Counter-Strike. And while it does have some Overwatch inspiration for sure, and taking from League of Legends and a few other titles, Team Fortress 2 even you could debate, Counter-Strike is really the bread and butter and the foundation of this game. They actually have Counter-Strike map makers in this game, and a lot of people pulled from the Counter-Strike team and people who play Counter-Strike professionally working on this game. So Valorant, if you love Counter-Strike, then you should probably love Valorant as well. But which game are you going to play the most of? There's still definitely a special niche that Counter-Strike fills. I just think Valorant might just be, in my opinion, it looks like Counter-Strike, but plus Ultra. Okay, so next up, if you hate Counter-Strike, maybe you should play Valorant. So obviously, Valorant is like Counter-Strike in most ways. But for me personally, I actually don't like Counter-Strike. I would rather play Rainbow Six games or some other tactical shooters, some like squad-based games, big team battle. I'll play slow-paced shooters, but Counter-Strike specifically is just a very alien game from where I come from. Where I come from, like stuff like Battlefield, or even like arena shooters like Quake, or I play Overwatch. So those games which have like rocket launchers and super big abilities, or just really bombastic gameplay, this game, Counter-Strike style games, really minimalistic actually. It's very slow-paced and it's very subtle, and there's a lot of invisible mechanics that you have to kind of learn and trudge through. But Valorant, for what I see in Counter-Strike style games having cracks, Valorant kind of smooths it over and fills those in with all these kind of ridiculous abilities and allows us to have some more interesting gameplay, in my opinion, for me personally, that I normally don't like in Counter-Strike. And at the same time, I can appreciate Counter-Strike for what it is. With the resource system, I love that. I do like the strategy, and I actually watch Counter-Strike as an esport, but playing it, it just hasn't quite hit the mark for me, but I think Valorant is going the extra step. So if you hate Counter-Strike, you probably don't realize how good the game is, but if you watch it, then you probably do. But I think Valorant is the game that will bridge that gap and allow you to kind of feel what everyone else has for Counter-Strike, and then maybe a little bit more. So yeah, if you love or hate Counter-Strike, I think Valorant might be a game to try out. Next up, and specifically coming from a game that is really viral right now, Overwatch. And if you are an Overwatch player, you're obviously looking to maybe transfer to Valorant. I think that this is not going to be for every Overwatch player. It's not going to be for the tank players, not really going to be for the support players. But if you play hit scan DPS, or if you play the damage-oriented healers like Ana, sometimes Soldier actually switches over, or Zenyatta, if you play maybe those kind of sniper-style characters inside of Overwatch, then yeah, Valorant is definitely going to be a game for you because that's all the characters are. every single character would essentially be a damage character inside of Overwatch. Now, the map design, the gameplay, the game mode, all that radically different. But in terms of just raw mechanics, which FPS are mostly mechanical games, even though this is a tactical shooter, if you love that feeling of hit scan DPS, of clicking on heads, this is basically click on heads, the game. Next up, if you're like me and you just play a bunch of different games and you love specifically the different kits, you know, the different characters or classes, and you like to just try to mix and match different team compositions or trying to do like weird builds and just play around with different kits in general, just trying to learn the physics of these classes. If you enjoy that kind of thing, going from fighting game to fighting game, or obviously hero shooters and different MOBAs, which you probably do if you played League of Legends or Overwatch, if you play those kind of games and you play lots of different characters, you're probably going to be interested in trying Valorant because there's going to be a lot of different characters. They're going to be in situations that you have not seen in a game lately. I know it looks like Overwatch or maybe Paladins or something like that, but it's going to be totally different. Just like how Apex, came out and blew everyone away by being a hero shooter inside of a battle royale. This is a tactical shooter, and yes, we do have Rainbow Six Siege, and that was also very special. But specifically Counter-Strike with hero abilities, it's pretty alien, and a lot of people were really wary of that. But specifically because of that, I think a lot of us are excited. It's like, how is this going to work? What's the balance going to be? Who's going to be the new OP? What are the team compositions? What's the esport going to look like? What are the plays that we can make? All this new stuff. It's so exciting. All these new characters. And of course, they're going to keep adding new characters. Yeah, it's just way too hype to let it go under the radar. So, no, Valorant is nowhere near under the radar, but specifically to play with these different abilities. I think some people are underplaying it. No. I think if you play MOBAs and stuff like that and fighting games, you're definitely going to have fun playing with some of these different characters in Valorant. Okay, halfway on the list though, pretty obvious one. We've already mentioned it's like Counter-Strike, it's like Overwatch, maybe even a little bit like MOBAs in some ways. Teamwork. Teamwork is going to be the bread and butter of this game. Okay, so it's a tactical shooter, which means you have to have tactics. If you guys don't know, tactics are sort of like the real-time implementation of strategies or different machinations of the strategies in real time. So this is going to be like where different players are at what time. And also, like, the different characters, their abilities, which ones are you going to equip, and then when are you going to throw that grenade? Okay, we're going to throw the grenade, we're all going to charge together. So stuff like that, stuff that you're going to have to talk about over voice comms, things that you're going to have to kind of rationalize in real time, like, oh my god, somebody's behind us, throw a smoke or whatever. That sort of gameplay. If you really like yelling over your mic, then this is going to be the game for you. I definitely think so. And yeah, the strategy as well, the strategy component of the different heroes, and then what guns are you going to buy per round, because it does have the resource wheel system, kind of like Counter-Strike. I just really appreciate the strategy and tactical element of this game. Even if I am not generally a fan of the mechanics of these style of games, I think altogether having a hyper-focused teamwork style game is something that I'm really eager to play. I play MOBAs and Overwatch for kind of pickup games, and I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun jumping into this if you're similar to me, because it's a whole new thing where it's like, okay, you really, really need to be using your mic. You really need to be communicating, and that's something that in a lot of other games, the culture just isn't quite there, even though it should be, it isn't always. Now, this game, I will give a warning, might be a little bit toxic, possibly, almost certainly, but still, if you can get through that, especially if you can join a team, even if it's just, a little community team, a local team or something like that, it's going to be a whole new game. It's going to be fantastic. And so yeah, again, Valorant looks like a lot of other games, but with this teamwork orientation, I think we're all going to have a whole new experience. But okay, that was maybe a little bit fearful for some people. Competitive game, yeah, kind of worrying. But I think also, if you're just an average gamer, this is going to be something that's very exciting for you. Valorant is being designed to be played on any machine, basically. As you can see from the animations and the overall visual production, it doesn't have the fidelity of Overwatch. It just doesn't, or many other games. It's just a very clean, very simple game. And in a lot of ways, that's fantastic. These limitations breed creativity mechanically and strategically, but also, like, it's just better to run. It's easier to run, it's easier to watch as well. That's a big problem with Overwatch, funny enough. But yeah, if you're just an average gamer, you hear this brand new, hugely viral game, you should be jumping in with everyone else, and you can. Anybody can play this game, free to play, jump in, it can run on any machine, Also, it should be, like, because it is very similar to Counter-Strike and with the production team of League of Legends, it's going to be very watchable. You guys are probably, watching this video and everything is very clear and obvious. You can watch anybody else's streams and stuff like that. It's just a very easy game, I think, to absorb yourself into. Now, it's going to be a very high skill ceiling game. It's not going to be easy. You are going to be a noob. You are going to get stomped. And yet, at the same time, I think just the average gamer, somebody who would consider themselves a gamer, this game is going to be really, really fun. It's going to be really good to get into. And yeah, you're not going to win every game, but I think overall with the matchmaking system and obviously with all the educational tools and just the visual appearance of how clean and clear everything is, it's just going to be really easy to get into, Maybe back in the day, Counter-Strike was very hard to get into. I think nowadays, this game right here, I think it's going to be the game for everyone. Well, not everyone, but anyone who considers themselves a gamer. Next, if you like competition. So yeah, I think it's gonna be good for just the average gamer. But I also think if you like esports, if you like watching esports, if you like competing, if you like seeing ingenious strategies, if you like seeing really crazy blown out skills, that it's just like you never thought that you could ever do that. You watch somebody play and they're like, oh my god, are they playing a different game? Are they hacking? This is definitely going to be one of those games where people are going to reach that level, like a whole new level of competition. You're going to be able to just openly see that, as we mentioned before, just anybody can clearly see that this is going to be a competitive game. But I also think that if you like that competition, it's not just going to be a casual game to jump in and do some tournaments or something like that. This is going to be a big freaking game. This is going to be a worldwide, obviously right now, viral game, but it's going to be a phenomenon. At least what we've seen with League of Legends and how they're promoting that, they basically defined esports. So if you like, seeing these teams, the stories that play out between the different players, the competition that Riot can bring, especially with Valorant, is going to be just insane. I mean, we see what Counter-Strike does, and we see what League of Legends does. So now let's put those things together and those communities kind of in a way together. It's going to be huge. It's going to be freaking big. Now, I guess you can also say this is a point of population. Yeah, absolutely. So if you like to smash your face against better players every single day and always try to learn new skills, I think Valorant is especially special because it's not just a singular arena shooter. It's not just, or even Counter-Strike, which debatably might have some limitations with its skill ceiling, or with overall its learning curve. I feel like Valorant's learning curve is going to be far more fun, more engaging as you gain sort of like the skill set to compete, as you engross yourself in the competition. Even as an average gamer, as you begin to play the game and you get better and better, I think that you're gonna have a more profound appreciation for esports as a whole. I think this game just has a larger variety of skills versus just a singular skill set that you build up and go on. So yeah, that's why I'm really excited to see where the sport goes with this game. If you like watching streams, kind of mentioned esports, stuff like that, but I mean, in general, if you just like watching streams, if you like watching YouTube videos, you're watching this one, you made it this far, you want to watch a game. I already said it's a clean game to watch. Also, it's going to be competitive, and yet at the same time, it's actually probably going to be really fun for just average gamers. I think this game will appeal to a lot of people despite its seeming niche, how it appears to be a hyper-focused esport, kind of toxicity-filled game. Actually, it's going to be a lot more umbrellaed than that. So I think just watching streams, there's going to be a lot of people. For instance, yeah, this is going to be a competitive game, but it's going to be really fun to watch people who never played games like this before jump in and have fun. Like it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a competitive game, and yeah, people are going to get killed, but it's going to be really cool to see someone get their first double kill or whatever, their first snipe, or, using abilities in really creative, weird ways, or the troll videos that are going to happen. I know you guys have seen trolling videos in CSGO. There's going to be so much funny video and content coming out. So many characters that are going to be starting streaming. And yeah, a lot of people are going to be starting making content here. And it's just going to be really cool to see all this brand new content with this brand new game that is just so watchable, appeals to everyone, and yet has that competitive bite. Yeah, no, is this going to be like the next big streaming game? Without a doubt. But yeah, that does bring us to the final reason of why you might want to play Valorant. So who is it for? I think it's going to be for people who like making content online. Yeah. This is going to be a game that with, all the different hero abilities and pretty much every point that I've made previously, it kind of all comes together to being like a perfect storm of having a lot of unique perspectives of how to make online content, what you can do with online content. And yet it's so interesting because it's such a strict game. It is a competitive game. So I don't know. All these limitations, though, I think are going to breed creativity. And it's a game that it's obviously, it's popular, it's viral. People are going to be making content. They already are. They're streaming. They're doing stuff. I'm making a video. Hey, hello. But I think if you want to jump in and then start making videos and start streaming, it's going to have a lot of competition. But if you're creative, if you have a unique take, which I think this game is opening up some possibilities for, then this is why you might want to play it. Now, some people really like to divide content creators and professional gamers and just casual gamers, but some people play games literally just to film in them, sometimes just to take screenshots. There's like, I've actually won awards for screenshots. I've had really big popular posts, you know, it's just like, hey, here's a screenshot in Overwatch, and everyone's like, oh my god, that's so cool. And there's people who literally make a living, like actual professionals, just taking screenshots or just doing like B-roll in video games. It's literally a career called video game capture artist. So if you just like recording and stuff like that, I think Valorant, while it's not the biggest spectacle and it doesn't have a campaign and it hasn't shown us much tools at the moment, I believe that Valorant is going to be the game to kind of branch off to start. If you want to make content, start it now, and then they're going to create tools, the replay system, stuff like that. You're gonna have so much fun with this game. Obviously still competitive oriented, but maybe from there we can probably see some funny, silly machinimas and things like that. I would love that. And of course, I've already mentioned, but like, you know, silly trolling videos and just fun highlight reels, stuff like that. If you just want to play a game, have fun, and likely have infinite content to be inspired by, that's Valorant. Jump into it, guys. Everyone is a critic. Everyone is also a content creator nowadays. So, you know, don't be shy. You don't have to make a living from it. You can just have fun with it. And I actually implore that you do, because, you know, part of my day, the fun of it is just watching, you know, silly highlight reels or goofy GIFs and things like that. So please make that content. Dance for me. And overall, hopefully we can all have fun playing together, filming together, and jamming as well. Please join my Discord if you want to play with me, or join my stream at twitch.tv/Skylent. Yeah, guys, those are like my 10 reasons. I kind of stretched for some of those, and some of those might sound very alien to some of you. But that's why I wanted to do this video, because a lot of different people play games for a lot of different reasons. But still, basically, regardless if you love or hate Counter-Strike, or no matter how you play Overwatch, or actually really what game you're coming from, there's kind of like just really a lot of vague and specific reasons why you might want to play Valorant. It's a really just perfect kind of combination of elements and a timing as well. Timing is really important. There's a lot of reasons why this game is going viral, and that virality alone might be even just reason enough to play. Like, oh, it's super freaking crazy. What's everyone talking about? Let's give it a shot. And yeah, a game being popular is definitely a reason to play. And joining that hype wave and being a part of it as a content creator especially, or just, you know, somebody who really consumes content, somebody who loves watching streams, or etc. All the reasons I've already listed. All these reasons right now make it a cool time to just follow this game. It's going to be something special. Even if it's a dumpster fire somehow magically, this is going to be a ride that we're all on, and we're going to make some memories. So yeah, get hyped, keep it alive for that. My name's Skylent. I'll be playing Valorant, and I'll see you again next time.